So what I'm doing here is I'm just breaking up this clay. This clay is actually from my parents' property. What I'm going to be doing with this clay is I'm going to be turning it into a glaze. So in order to do that, I want to break up into smaller chunks. Right now this clay has a bit of moisture in it, okay, so I need to dry it out completely so that when I go to weigh it, I have an accurate measurement or an accurate weight. I am not going to process this too much, okay, so you can sort of see there's a little stones in there here and there. In fact, this clay is actually quite pure compared to some of the other ones I've seen, okay, but you'll still see little bits of stone. So when I go to mix the glaze, I will be passing it through a screen. So when I pass it through the screen, it should take out a lot of those organic materials, the little stones. If there's any sticks in there, it should sieve that through. Okay, so an interesting thing about this particular clay, it's from the southwestern Ontario area. There used to be a brick factory there years ago, so late 1800s, I believe, early 1900s. So if you start driving in that area, a lot of the old farmhouses have this yellow brick. So this clay, when you fire it, it actually turns yellow instead of your typical earth clay, so clay that you find in the earth, which usually fires red. Now what I often see with some of these old farmhouses is the surface of the bricks are starting to sort of deteriorate, and I believe that it's because they weren't fired to a high enough temperature. Okay, so most of the bricks that were made and fired in those days were the red ones, right? You didn't get the fancy colors that you have today. So they were digging that clay out of the earth and making bricks out of them, but probably did not have kilns that were reaching the temperature to really make these hard. You can see there's a little bit of an iron deposit right here. Slight difference in color. So I do believe it's blue in the ground, and I do believe once you bring it out from out of the ground, it does oxidize a little bit, so it's not like there's no iron in it, but it does turn a little bit more of this reddish brown color as opposed to that beautiful blue color when you dig it straight out. So we'll see what colors this is going to bring us. Okay, so in the past I've made glazes and I've added oxides to it. So the last one, oxides or carbonates. So the last time I mixed this glaze, I did add copper to the glaze. So now I'm just making it and just seeing what happens with just the clay and the wood ash and a few other things that I add.